Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever and wherever you are watching. Coming back to you talking about 90 Day Fiance The Single Life. I just got a chance to watch the very first episode that's up on Discovery Plus. I'm guessing maybe they're putting the episodes up a week after they air on television. Not sure, but only the first episode was available to me. So that's what I'm going to talk about today because it was a mess. How is everyone doing so far this Monday afternoon? Or morning if you're still on the West Coast? Do like that. Tony Man says, and we're back. Hope you enjoyed your lunch. I did. It felt good having lunch at this time of day. A lot of times I get busy with work and then I don't eat lunch until like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So it was good to have lunch earlier at an appropriate time. I got to treat my body better than that. Chris says, whoop, we're back. Natalie needs to stop. And Debbie, and all of them actually. Fominky Latte is back, says, hey again, hey. The first thing I'm going to do is go over who is supposed to be on this season of 90 Day, The Single Life, because it's not everyone. It's just a few people. Let me see here. Some people I cared about, some people I didn't care about. So the people that are on the show are Caesar. We get to see his continued trials and errors. We'll call it that. Debbie is back, and check out her glow up. Like, this is not the best picture of her. She actually looked much better on the show. I think I did this is how she looked on the show. Much, much better. I like the red hair color. I feel like it suits her. Her makeup is done well. I'm happy for Debbie getting her, or as they say now, living her best life. That's what I feel like she's doing, living her best life. Do I have another picture of somebody here, or no, that's the intro. I'm going to scroll through until I get to here we go. Natalie, she always takes great photographs. The only thing I would do is I would probably add more bronzer around her face because her makeup on her face is much lighter than what she has tanned to. And yeah, so I'm not going to use the term I was going to use to call her because that's ableist, but she's not right. Tony says I actually like bike riding brother man. That is Caesar. Yes. I this he's not an unlikable person. He's just awkward. Tania is back, or Tanya, can't remember which it was. I could have sworn that during her season of 90 Day with Sinjin, her name was Tania. But now on this season, she's saying her name is Tanya. So I'm whatever. You say you're Tanya this time, okay, I will correct Tanya. Chris says Debbie looks like she's living better. It's time for her to let Colt go. They aren't good for each other. Yeah, I think she felt kind of trapped in, I think she was afraid to date. She gives me that she was afraid to date because she didn't want to upset her son after her husband passed away. But he was already grown when her husband passed away because Colt is in his 30s. And her husband passed away, I think she said 13 years ago. So Colt would have been around 20 years old. Still a difficult blow to have to lose a parent at such a young age. But he was grown enough to get over, you know, his mother dating again. Tonyman says, as for Debbie, you said drunk life wrong. I said best life. And also, I almost forgot about Tiffany. Tiffany is on here as well. I always refer to her as the lady who married the man who smoked his mother's refrigerator. I mean, literally, the man, I never remember his name. I just remember that he was an addict and that at one point he sold his mother's refrigerator for heroin. So that's why I refer to him as the man that smoked his mother's refrigerator. Kind of like Gator from Jungle Fever. I smoked a TV, mama. that's why that's in my head like that. But that's who she had married, and I guess she's divorced or separated from. She looks very nice. Well, she's always been a very pretty girl. So I mean, that was nothing to make her look better. She was always a pretty girl. Chris says she was more worried about Colt's feelings than she was about living life. Yes, yes. And now she's finally living. Yeah, she's the shoulder shirt girl. Yes, every shirt she owns has shoulder cutouts. I don't know what that's about. Maybe it's a ventilation thing that cools her off, but every shirt she owns is showing a shoulder. Maybe it's just that she wants everyone to see this tattoo. I don't know. And then finally we have what's her name? Veronica. I started to say Vanessa. Veronica. Not so sure I'm too interested in Veronica's dating life. And it looks like from the previews that her main issue is just going to be dating guys who are going to ask her why the hell Tim is still hanging around, which is a relevant question. Like, I mean, boundaries. They might want to re-explore what their boundaries are going to be. I don't know. I don't find Veronica to be all that interesting, but again, we have not really got to see her, so maybe she will end up being super interesting. But I do have some clips to show. I'm going to talk about. Let me close this. So I want to show you a couple clips to illustrate my point as I'm going through these different things. I'm starting with Natalie because just because. Oh, darn it. Now that's odd. I think I wrote that in the wrong spot. Okay. Just noticed something that I wrote wrong on my notes. There. Correction on that. Okay, so Natalie is originally from the Ukraine. Now she's living in St. Petersburg, Florida, but on this episode, she's visiting Hollywood, California, and she's on one of those celebrity bus tour things where they just like go outside the homes of where celebrities live or used to live type of thing. And They put a disclaimer up showing that this was filmed before Russia invaded Ukraine. So knowing that Natalie's from Ukraine, I'm sure they didn't want people to think that she's out partying and living her life while Ukraine is in the rest. So they made sure to let us know that this was filmed before Russia invaded Ukraine. They give like a recap of her relationship with the mountain man. That's what I call him. Tall mountain man and his Uncle Bo. I don't know why I remember Uncle Bo's name more than his name. I think his name was Mike. Pretty sure his name was Mike. There was a lot of Mikes on the show, but I call him Mountain Man. So they give a recap of her relationship with Mountain Man, in which both parties are at fault because she is in arrested development, stuck around age 13, and he is passive aggressive. And these two things just don't work out well. So after that recap, I did put in my notes that she looks fabulous as usual. Her legs look beautiful, and she loves a red dress. Natalie has multiple red dresses. We saw 3 different red dresses in just one episode. So she loves a red dress. Her legs she was strutting until she hit those stairs. When she hit those stairs, she stumbled a little bit, and I'm mad and at the same time overjoyed that the producers left that in. I don't know why. I shouldn't feel that way. That's a bad thing. Anyway, she goes on a date with this guy. Did I catch his name? Nope, didn't even bother to write his name down. But he took her to a swan boat ride, and I Googled because we have swan boat rides here in Orlando, and the ones here in Orlando are $15 for 30 minutes to ride. And he didn't tell her that he was doing it, so she shows up in these pumps. And don't worry, I'm going to show you a little clip of footage. I'm just setting it up. I'm setting up the clip. So they go out, and they're on a paddle boat thing, and she can't paddle because she has on 4-inch stiletto heels, which were like nude color, and they were patent leather. Looked great though, but not appropriate for the date. And he should have told her that's what the date was going to be, but he didn't. So then after that, they go to the rooftop lounge of the hotel that she's staying at. And I'm telling you this just so you can calculate how cheap this man is. So we got a $15 boat thing, and then he bought drinks. So that probably brings it up to what if let's say hotel drinks are $10 each, that's another $20, so $35. And this man is trying to hint at going into a hotel room with her to get her cookies, and I'm like, he that's an insult. He thinks that she's a cheap hoe. I'm sorry, that's just my thought. Tony says the only 2 people I want to see do good are Drunk Debbie and Caesar the bike dude. I could care less about anyone else. Chris says Natalie and her baby fever storyline is old, especially since she wants to date men, expecting a family, but also won't tell the men this. Yes. And also she acts crazy. Let me show you an example of crazy. Let me share my screen. The way she switched up on this dude is just weird. Like, I don't see why anyone would want to date her. She's very weird. Foamy Lighter says, I would have canceled the date if I was her. Yeah. Now watch how she interacts with this dude.
And there's like no expectations. So you're getting up?
8 o'clock, 9.
Okay.
Just
This you?
Yeah.
Walks him to the hotel room. Flirting. Oh, we're flirting.
It's not romantic. I mean, I didn't feel like.
What?
And she act like she's gonna kiss him, and then he does. And now she's acting completely like a 13-year-old. This almost 40-year-old woman. Door to her face. If he calls her again, then he deserves whatever he gets.
I slammed it though for Josh because he didn't answer my question if he committed or no. Can he be exposed?
You had one date.
No. And I felt like it's wrong. You want to have sex with me, but it's too.
How is he going to commit to you after one date? And you shouldn't have walked him up to your hotel room because you gave him a false sense of getting some. I don't know how any other way of saying it. You gave him a false sense of getting some that he was never going to get, and you shouldn't have done that. I don't like that. If you didn't like him or you didn't like his answer, you should have left him at the bar and you should have told him, I don't like your answer. I'm going to say goodnight for tonight, and, you know, shake his hand and go on your happy way. But that, what you just did in the hallway was giving mixed signals. Not cool. Also, you can't ask them if they want to spend the rest of their life with you after having one date. Like, what kind of illness does she have that she thinks that makes sense? He's also wrong for trying to sleep with her after only spending $35. I'm sorry, this cheap man. $35. That's acceptable when you are 19 years old. We're all broke. We're kids. It makes sense. Yeah, let's go ride the duck boats and go to the bowling alley, you know, stuff like that. But these are 40-year-old people. No, or not 40. I think he was in his mid 30s and she's in her mid 30s, but they're closer to 40 than they are to 30. Chris says, I can't imagine her taking care of a child. The child would need attention, and she seems like she can't stand not being at the center of it all. That's a good point. I don't see her being a mother either because she's still a baby. She still acts like a baby. How can you be the mother if you're the baby? Yeah, it's, I don't know. That's all I had to say about Natalie. We saw in the preview that she's going to end up in a fetal position crying on the bed. So, I mean, it's Natalie. Oh, we also see that she tries to momentarily go back to Mike. And if he takes her back, I mean, I wouldn't mess with this lady. That's all I'm saying. She's not all there. Now, when we meet Caesar, this stuff is funny. I'm going to show you the first scene meeting Caesar before I even talk about him, because if a picture is worth 1,000 words, a video has got to be worth 1,000,000 words. And just look at how Caesar is spending his time. It was funny that he actually tried this. He attempted this. And when I say attempt, I don't mean the painting. I mean the pickup line. Check this out. Oh, wait. Tony Man says, you're forgetting about how she said how men worship her feet and how she could have any man. I said I'd make a beeline for the exit and leave her with a check. Yeah, that's just weird conversation. She did say that she wanted men to beg for her. And I'm just like, this is not conversation that you want to have on a date. Even if that's what you think in your mind, you don't say that out loud. How terrible. Let's check Caesar out here.
Welcome to Wine and Design. There's no mistakes, only happy accidents.
She got that from Bob Ross. He always said that.
I wanted to ask you a question.
Oh, sure.
Are you on? Because you've been running through my mind all day.
Has that line worked?
No.
Okay.
That right there. Why would you do that? Why would you? I feel so bad for Caesar because he's trying and he does seem like a very sweet individual, but what the hell? And the way she answered him, has that line ever worked? No. Then he continues. You think that he's going to stop there.
I'm Caesar Mack. I'm 49 and I'm from Jacksonville, North Carolina.
You'd have been better off asking her if it hurt. And she'd be like, well, did what hurt when you fell from heaven?
Oh, okay.
I got you.
Oh, that is so sweet. You know, I appreciate that.
You know, I'm going to be turning 50 years old very soon.
And I'm still single.
At this point in my life, I thought I would find somebody to be my wife.
Now, you think that when he hit on the lady to the left of him and she turned him down, that he would give up. But Caesar,
So you have a little bit of skill over there.
Caesar is not going to give up.
It's all from rubbing feet. I work at a nail shop.
Oh, okay.
I've been a nail technician for 18 years. It has not always helped my daily life, but I come to places like this because it's an opportunity for me to meet beautiful women.
So did you come over here with your husband?
I left him at home.
Oh, he's a lucky man to have a beautiful woman like you.
Oh, thank you.
That was attempt number 2. Attempt number 2 was better than attempt number 1. And I respect him for not, going home and becoming an angry incel because the first lady turned him down. So shout out to Caesar for that. But the second attempt was way smoother than the first attempt, but it was still a fail.
You're welcome.
You're funny. Caesar's pickup lines did not work on me. I thought they were funny. I would love to give him pointers. We could definitely be friends. And I don't have a husband.
The way
Is that your cat?
Fomiculite says Caesar needs to give it up going around trying to give women worms. Caesar needs to find a wife 30 years ago. I feel bad for him. Well, he's still, you know who I think his natural counterpart is? His natural counterpart is Yolanda. That's who should be with Caesar. The way he's on here on the computer trying to chat up Ukrainian women, and the way Yolanda was on the computer trying to chat up Williams, who didn't exist, the two of them, they're age adjacent. I feel like they're close in age. Yolanda might be a little older than him. She might be 52, 54-ish. He's 49. That's not a huge difference. But I really feel like they would be ideal for each other because they both have a very kind heart to themselves. They both are very kind-hearted people, and they really, really just want love. But they both have the same issue. They keep, I mean, I hate to, how do I say this? There's no other way to say it but trying to date outside your league. Like, you got to be realistic with yourself. You have to be realistic that if there's some 25-year-old model, 9 times out of 10, she's not interested in you unless you're like super wealthy and can do something for her. I'm just saying 9 times out of 10. And he and she both Caesar and Yolanda were looking at these younger people who are sending photos that look like model type photos and think, oh yeah, this person's into me. And it's like, no, that's not realistic. The person, now with Caesar, there was a person that was into him right in front of his face and he didn't even see it. And I'm going to show you that in a second. Tonyman says, give him a pass. You miss every shot you don't take. Yeah. Well, I said I gave him a pass for trying again because that shows resilience. And nobody likes people who are quitters. And quitters never win. Remember that. So I respect that he didn't let the first turn down deter him from trying again. And that's a positive trait. So shout out to Caesar for that. Chris says, oh yeah, they'd be perfect for each other. Yes, him and Yolanda. Let me fast forward to when he completely missed the person that was in his face that really likes him. He actually hired a matchmaker from the Ukraine and he's paying her $500. And I feel like she's taking him for a ride. I don't think that's cool, but I don't think it's cool at all for any of these Ukrainian women to be taking Caesar for a ride. I feel like that's really dirty. But he goes out to brunch with a friend. They also show him finding out about the turmoil in Ukraine and about how some stuff might pop off between Ukraine and actually I'll show you that part. That part was pretty cool. It's very short. We'll go right here.
I'm leaving for Ukraine tomorrow, but I'm watching the news and hearing about tensions between Russia and Ukraine. I really need to make sure that it's okay for me to go there. I've been looking at the news and I've been seeing a lot of concerning articles that are coming up right now. NATO schedules special meeting with Russia and Ukraine crisis. Russia is around the perimeter of Ukraine and they're doing exercises. Oh my gosh. Man, that sounds dangerous. But, I've seen a lot of other articles about them working it out. I feel like I talked to the matchmaker, she lives there. She told me that everything is okay and, Kiev is fine and everything is safe. I'm almost going to be 50 years old. I feel like time has passed me by. I don't want to spend another year of my life being single and alone. So this is it. I'm just going to still go to Ukraine because the woman of my dreams is out there. If I don't go now, there might not be another time that I can go. so excited. I'm leaving for Ukraine tomorrow. And finally, I get to meet some of the women that the matchmaker set me up with. And that way I can find my Mrs. Right. Yeah. And so I asked my friend April to meet up and help me go over the
Now,
profile
watch
that
April
the
closely.
matchmaker had sent me. So that way I can kind of get April's input.
Are these like all of your matches?
These are the candidates right here, okay?
Oh, good lord. There's a lot of them.
I trust April's opinion. She has that female intuition to give me good advice, womanly advice. And sometimes I think man needs that.
So that's one.
Okay,
What's your name?
go back. Katrina.
She's also your equal counterpart,
Susie
April.
Katerina.
Yeah, that's what I said. Katerina.
What does her profile say?
Single and ready for Caesar.
Single and ready for Caesar?
Heck yeah. And look at, she says she like washing dishes. That means I don't have to clean nothing.
That's
You
not
just
what
throw
it
in
says.
there,
It
what
says, do you like to cook?
Okay, that was a tinge of douche. That's a tinge of douchebaggery right there.
See what you want to see.
Ooh, look at this one. The hair.
Look at this one.
Let's go right there.
She's pretty.
Hold on. I didn't pick up on this the first time watching this, but I'm picking up on it now. Look at this one. Not like they're people, but objects. You have to pay very close attention to people's language. He's looking at them like objects, and that's not good.
You can't know anything by looking at them. They can have the personality of a rock. Don't just go solely on looks.
Yeah.
What makes any of these girls different from Maria? Are they all supposed to be looking for love, or are they looking for an American? How do you know that this site isn't a scam?
Because the matchmaking, we actually talked, had a conversation. It's not going to be nothing like Maria.
Dating Maria, he just got out of a lot of money. He was sad and depressed and just not himself. And I just don't want to see him go through that again. I know that Caesar really appreciates my honesty because, like before, everybody just told him what he wanted to hear and they smiled in his face and they talked about him behind his back. And he knows that I'm going to tell him the truth.
It's a dating agency. I can go down there and meet the person in person.
You're going to Ukraine?
Yeah.
The Ukrainians don't want to be in Ukraine right now. Russia's at the border, like ready to invade them.
I watched the news and matchmaker said everything is totally safe. So I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be safe.
Why not get an American?
Because I tried it already. None. If I would have went to one of these roles right here, nobody would have gave me their phone number.
But the person sitting across from you would. Look at her face.
Maria, and now I'm just starting to get my life back. But I'm really looking for somebody that love and meet them face to face and get to see them. And then they can see if they like me.
Well, I just want you to be careful. I don't want you to get hurt again. And if you want somebody that's really going to love you, you have to quit going for the wrong things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's going to work out.
I wish I could find a man to love me as much as you love these strangers.
There it is right there. The way she said, I wish I could find a man to love me the way you love these strangers. And then she looked directly at him like that. I can't think of a hint bigger than that to drop. And he just completely didn't even see it. Okay, let's see here. Toteman says that friend literally had landing lights and reflective wear, and it still flew over his head. Mm-hmm. He's leaving for Ukraine and worried. I'm all like, who's going to feed his cat? Yeah, true. True, he does have a cat. Was April the same friend that was on with him last time? I'm not sure. It's possible. But he's like completely not seeing her the way she sees him. And it's because he has his mind set on this, top 10 model cover girl 25-year-old, when the lady sitting directly across from you that's counseling you, that cares about you, that's in your age group, that's in your social circle, you're not talking to her. You're not trying to go out with her. I think she would say yes if you asked. Well, you already have her number. She's your friend. So why don't you explore that? And you don't even see her sitting there across from you, because you probably look at her and go, oh, well, she's not hot enough. But you look at yourself in the mirror, and mind you, Caesar told us during this show that he knows that he's, what did he say? He was, I wrote it down, that he was sexy and something. He tells us that he knows that he's already handsome and sexy. Okay, maybe when you were 22 years old, but at 49, you just look kind of regular. And she looks kind of regular. Actually, I think she's kind of pretty, but not like supermodel, but still a pretty lady. She's not an ugly woman by any stretch of imagination, and you just don't even see her, and that's a shame. Could be the best thing sitting right across from you. Later on, his friend Chewy comes to take him to the airport to catch his flight to Ukraine. And apparently he tells us that he dated Chewy's sister when Chewy's sister Liz in high school. And Chewy says that the chances of Caesar getting scammed again are very high. So that's all I had on Caesar. Chris said this part of the segment was so skeevy. It was, because the way he was looking at the Ukrainian women was like he was looking at a menu of cheeseburgers and just picking out the one that he wants to enjoy and not seeing them as people, which is really messed up. It's not a good way to be. And this is why you're never going to find love if you don't treat women like people. They're never going to amount to what you've built up in your mind, because that's not real. And vice versa, the same thing. There's some women that do the same thing, where they see men as objects and they have this checklist of he has to be this height and have this type of career and this, and you never know. You might fall for a guy who isn't that height. Or you let a guy walk by you or you don't give him the time of day because he isn't that height. And I'm just like, it's a real silly way to live. Fominky Latte says, that's why I don't feel bad about him getting scammed. The only reason why I feel bad about him getting scammed is I do feel like maybe he doesn't function the same way as the rest of us. Like, I don't know whether he is non-neurotypical, but he gives inklings of being non-neurotypical. Also, I peeped that he kind of has a dent back here on the back of his head and a long scar that comes across his head this way. So he might have suffered a traumatic brain injury, and we just haven't been told that on the show. But I did notice the scar on his scalp and the dent on his head. Like, he might have really, really been hurt. So I feel like maybe his processing is not on the level that it should be. And for that, I feel bad for people taking advantage of him. Chris says she's not 20 or Ukrainian enough for him. It's sad. Yeah, exactly. It would be like me, because I'm similar age. He's a couple years older than me. It'd be like me thinking that a 20-year-old guy wants to, run around with me. And like, no, I know that would not be real, because I'm old enough to be their parent, as is he. He's old enough to be their parent. And as a woman who once was 20, when I was 20 and guys that were in their 40s tried to talk to me, I thought they were freaking creepy. I'm like, why are you talking to me? You're old. You're like my dad's age. Go away. Ew. And the fact that they think that young women don't have these thoughts is really funny. Fomicky Light says black people was trying to get out and his dumbass trying to get in. Yes, I still remember the train situation in Ukraine when they were letting, like, it made sense for them to let the women with children on first, because, if you have a small child, it's going to be harder for you to move around. But then when they were not just for black people, but I saw them not allowing black people on trains. I saw some of the people kicking Indian men in the chest, like 300 kicking them in the chest to keep them off the trains. And then I saw the Asian men lined up over to the side, not allowed to go on the trains. And a lot of the Asian men that were there were students. They weren't there as permanent residents. They were there for college, and they weren't allowing them to get home to their families. It was kind of messed up seeing how that was handled. All right, on to the next one. Who's next? Debbie. Yeah, let's get into Debbie and her mouth. I like Debbie is who I really like to see on tell-alls, because Debbie's mouth is reckless and it's enjoyable to me, because most people, if you know anyone in their 70s, they're going to say whatever the hell they want to say because they're in their 70s. They're retired. They're not going to get fired. They're not going to lose their home. And they're going to say whatever the hell it is they want to say. And I'm here for it because a lot of times what they say has a lot of merit. Sometimes it's BS. You got to know. But a lot of times it has merit. So we catch up with Debbie. Let me put the screen back up. Sorry, my voice is going hoarse. I had muted myself because I had a bit of a coughing fit. I took my allergy medicine, and instead of just clearing everything up, it's giving me like a post nasal drip that's irritating my throat. And so I'm going to get some tea when the stream is over. And also I apologize for some of the audio that is playing on the 90-day clip. We have to alter it or else 90-day will give me a hassle for playing video.
But after 30 years, I don't want to be alone. I want to fall in love. I need love now. Well, that's for damn sure. The more I get out there, and even though I've been having really bad dates, I have.
If you remember, Debbie told us she was a go-go dancer in her youth, and she still has these white go-go boots. So go ahead, Debbie.
I like a man that's 6'1", preferably with some hair. That would be nice.
See the go-go boots?
The most is the way he compliments me. I get twinges. If that man can do those twinges, I can date that. I can also take him home and, have a good time with him.
And I like her old lady gang.
And looking for the real thing, baby. Battery operated boyfriend, Bob.
Yeah, I learned that from Debbie yesterday.
He's a real human being. Well, I guess sometimes it could be better. I don't know. Depends on the person you're with.
That's what I want to do. When I'm 70, I want to have some girlfriends that we just go out and have a good time. Since I was a child, I always felt like I'm going to, it was going to be Miami because of Golden Girls was going to retire to Miami and pretty much be like Blanche Devereaux. But I think Orlando is a better place for me right now. So I'm still working on my Blanche Devereaux wardrobe. Fun fact, the Golden Girls were supposed to be 55 years old during the time on their show. And 55 does not look like that anymore. Like our 55, I'm trying to think of people who are 55 now. Like we don't have, celebrity wise, I don't know too many people that have yet reached 55, but I know the people that are 52 years old. Janet's around 52 or 53. J-Lo's around that age. Halle Berry's around that age. Who else is in their 50? Angela Bassett is past that. I think Angela Bassett might be 60. Yeah, like 55 is not how it looked during the Golden Girls era in the 70s. I mean, 70s, 80s. Sorry. The Golden Girls era, the 80s. 55 in the 80s look very different than 55 today. Very, very interesting. But yeah, so moving on from that, we are going to get to the whole cult situation. Let me read some comments here. Chris says, Debbie needs to speak reckless to Colt until he gets his poops in a group. I like that expression, poops in a group. Chris says, she would be a fun grandma. Mm-hmm. Now, going on to the Debbie Colt situation, let me fast forward to that. I don't know what the heck happened. It was like the script just got flipped for no reason. Like 1 minute, Debbie was packing up Colt's stuff because she said she was going to clean out his room and use it for something else. And then next thing I know, Colt was just going off about something, and I don't know what it was. So let's see, upon rewatching it, if we can make heads or tails of what the heck happened. This is who Debbie ended up dating. Did I take down his name? His name is Tony. He's from Canada, and she says that he looks like Santa because he has a gray beard, gray ponytail, and she wonders what's in his gift bag. Her words, not mine. And he's coming to visit her in Vegas. He's going to stay at a hotel, but she wanted to clean up the house in case he ends up wanting to come and stay with her there. So that's where we pick up, where she is like cleaning her house, and that's when Cole stops by. Chris says Angela Bassett is aging goals for me. Yes. And she made me pick up my weights again. I got to work on my arms. Get my arms Angela Bassett good, you know? Another one, Chili from TLC. I'm quite sure she should be about 50 now, and she looks amazing.
For real. I mean, maybe it's too good to be true. I don't know yet. He's coming to visit tomorrow, all the way from Canada, just in time for my 70th birthday. Freaking out. He's going to stay in a hotel, but I'm cleaning up the house just in case he wants to come over here. God. Nightmare. Good thing is I can use this room since Colt moved out. My son Colt and I were having some problems, and we had a huge fight. He and his wife Vanessa came and told me, we're moving out in 3 months. Okay, we have a huge rent, and I can't afford all the bills on my own. So I felt really broken. Colt and Vanessa moved out about a month ago, and I haven't seen him since. The hell is all this? Colt said he's going to come by, and he wants to get some of his things out of here, and he said he wanted to talk. This is the longest time that I
saw those weights under the bed.
I almost seen him. It's very difficult for me. God. Stop.
Whoa.
I wonder why is he dressed like this?
Look at you. Woohoo. I'm just
It's like he has his Jedi robe on.
You guys moved out. Might as well.
You want to sit down? Because my wife and I, Vanessa, have been living with her cousin. I'm back at the house now because I didn't get a chance to pack anything before I left. My mother and I have this weird codependency. Ever since my father died, I was the surrogate son / best friend / husband. But something's got to give. How's it going?
Great.
I mean, I haven't talked to you, so I don't know really anything, honestly.
What's up going on? I think I texted you Happy Thanksgiving and you did not respond.
I'm still.
It just occurred to me that she kind of sounds like that
really.
lady from
I
Throw
feel like
Mama
there's
from the
just so much
train.
tension between us.
Gee, let's see. Why is there tension between us? I understand that you and Vanessa have a life, and I don't want to interfere with it. But I can't live here and pay all the finances. Vanessa moved out, and then you moved out. We have a lease. We signed it. We all knew.
The way Colt just started playing with his hair. I can't run my fingers through my hair because I have curly hair. And this mofo said,
You treat me very poorly. I don't know why. I've always asked you, why do you treat me like a child? I'll always be your son, but I'm definitely not a small child anymore. So there has to be some kind of respect and distance.
You know, this is what you totally don't understand. You think that because I'm so connected to you that I think you need me. Have you ever thought that it was the other way around, that I needed you? I needed you. You're my son, no matter.
that's sad, but it's also unfair because you cannot expect your son to fill in the gaps of your romantic partner or your husband. That's unfair to Colt. And that might be an unpopular opinion, but that's your child. Your child, you were almost expecting your child to parent you during a time of crisis. That's the way it sounds like to me. Anyways, Tony Man says Debbie made 0 sense when she argued with Colt. She either was hammered or had a stroke. Either way, she was incoherent. Chris says, I think they edited that fight scene to be weird. That makes sense because TLC's editors are real shisty, is what I would call them. Fomiculate says, Colty, they should have helped her clean up that house. Yes. How are you going to leave and then leave the house in shambles like that? And then Colt said he didn't have time to take his things. So what did you just leave? You escaped in the middle of the night? You should have just packed your stuff like a normal person.
How old you are? You're 75. You're still my son.
Guilt trip, guilt trip, guilt trip, guilt trip. Hello, my name is Debbie. Guilt trip, guilt trip. Want to take a vacation today? Guilt trip, guilt trip, guilt trip.
What?
Guilt trip. You guilt trip me all the time. 36, 13, don't matter.
you want from me?
I just want.
No, seriously. What do you want me as a mother? What do you want?
Whatever. I don't care. This is ridiculous.
See, now that's where you threw it out the window, Colt. She asked you what you wanted. That was your opportunity to say what you wanted, whether you wanted an apology, whether you wanted a better relationship, whether you wanted to go to counseling together. She gave you an open door. And then instead of you, bearing in mind the editing, I'm just reacting to what they've shown us as if this is what happened. You know, we all know that TLC editors are shysty, but it seems that she was giving him an opening to explain his feelings. And instead of doing that, he just flies out, goes out the door, which makes it feel like this is orchestrated for television and not real. Not sure.
Jeez, I just want to talk to you. Just want to have a relationship. Hello, just want to have a relationship. What bull is this? I guess I get my tomorrow.
I don't know what you're wearing, Colt. What is this you're
I'm
wearing?
For real, she's yelling at me. She's giving me disrespect. I don't want to deal with that.
Feel like leave the house keys. You're not allowed back in here.
I still remember those stairs.
Oh, wait.
Those are those stairs that Larissa was standing at the top of saying, whoever is against the queen shall die, or whatever the hell she said. That was that staircase.
You do this to me. You don't give a about me. That's why you don't. Did you not care about me?
I do. I love you.
No, you don't. You just said, you know what? You know, you, Mom, you've been there too much. What the have I done to you to your life?
My entire life has been your life. You've been the bus driver of my life.
What the hell is wrong with you?
They need therapy. They
Your
need
dad would be so disappointed
family
in
therapy.
You know what, Colt?
Tony Man says
You treat me like
Colt is wearing loungewear.
you.
Yeah. I feel like that should come with pants, though. I don't think those are the shorts that go with that set, if it's loungewear. Yeah, that's unfortunate. They need, like, regular family therapy to work through that. And reality TV is not going to help them with that situation. Now we'll talk about Tania, because I'm still, swear to God, she said her name was Tania, and then now all of a sudden she's Tanya. She's from Colchester, Connecticut. I'm from Connecticut, but I never really went to Colchester like that, so I can't tell you anything about it. I'm gonna skip over when we first meet her because she was floating boobs up in the pool, and they had to edit that. Chris says he's grown enough to go overseas for a relationship but not grown enough to run his own life. Exactly. He grown enough to chase all manner of Latina coochie, but can't deal with his mom. Tony says, drunk argument. I've had it firsthand and have admittedly and embarrassingly did it. That's why it irks me. All right, so let's catch up. Tania's in Aruba. Like I forgot to mention it when I first show her, she actually had a top on in the pool, and then she took her bikini top off and floated boobs up in the pool. I want to say tits up, but I don't know whether I would get clocked for saying that. But she was floating tits up in the pool, and they had to blur that junk. And she's just, being Tania, how she usually is, a free spirit, going to different places. This time Aruba, trying to meet dudes at a bar. And so we catch up. She's getting ready for a date. This is after she's spoken to her friends on the beach, and she's talked. There was something crazy she said. She said she wanted to broaden her horizons. And I was like, broaden your horizons? Broader than what? Broader than going to South Africa and meeting a guy, a bushman? That's how, I'm not calling him a bushman. He called himself a bushman, which is incorrect. He's a Dutchman. But he called himself a bushman and at a bar, and then trying to marry him and forcing him to give her a baby by 30. Not going to happen. Freer than taking this man back to Colchester, Connecticut and leaving him in a shack and then going to Central America to study alternative medicine. Like, you've already broadened your horizons. Like, I don't know how much broader your horizons can get, Tania. Tanya, whatever. Anyways, this is her getting ready for her date.
My workouts, my squats have been working.
I'm getting ready to hang out with this guy named Joel. I met him at a bar, and I also matched online with him a couple weeks ago. We've been messaging each other quite a bit, and one day he asks me if I have explored the island yet. And I tell him no, and bada bing, bada boom, he makes these plans.
Wow. Sweating. This is the island life. I brought a few bikinis. What I love about this one is that it's like, I can change it. So I can make it open if I'm running into a store and want to cover up a little bit more. And I can make it like smaller and skinnier when I'm at the beach and want to have the tatas out getting some sun.
I'm excited to dip my toes back in the sand.
I just hope we have good conversations. It's not like we're just going out.
This is the person who wants to be a parent. She wants to be a parent so bad, and she's like focused on this this whole segment with the bikini. I just thought it was hilarious that she has such a baby fever. How are you gonna have baby fever and you don't even want to stay in one place at a time? Like, as much as she runs around the world living in different places, it wouldn't be fair to drag your child around like that, because children need stability. Now, it's good to bring your children on vacation and take them places so they can have different experiences and see the world and broaden their horizons. But to drag a baby around in a what's the word? My mind said vagrant. I don't want to say vagrant. She's not vagrant. She's more like nomadic. She has more of a nomadic existence. I don't think that's right for a child. Did I just play that whole segment without it being on the screen again? Or did I think I played that whole segment without it being on the screen. Let me roll it back. I'm not going to roll it all the way back because time-wise, but let's see here. I hate when I do that. Yeah, right here. And y'all do it again.
Hang out with this guy named Joel. I met him at a bar, and I also matched online with him a couple weeks ago. We've been messaging each other quite a bit.
Tony Man says, well, if you're going to get clocked, you said tits up twice. And if you read this aloud, it'll be 3 times. Yeah.
Bada bing, bada boom. He makes these
Chris says, Tania is another baby fever wrapped in red flag story time. Mm-hmm.
This is the island life.
Tony Man says, gypsy, etc.
I brought a few bikinis. What I love about this one is that it's like, I can change it. So I can make it open if I'm running into a store and want to cover up a little bit more.
Phil Mickey Lighty says, that man from South Africa's feet was black at the bottom, and he got into bed with those dirty ass feet. Disrespectful. I remember that. That was so nasty.
I'm excited to dip my toes back in the sand.
I just hope we have good conversations. It's not like we're just going out to dinner, so if it's awkward, it's like, okay, goodbye. This is like a full day adventure. So if it turns awkward,
Yeah, so she goes on a date with old dude, and basically he gets a little bit upset that she did not tell him that she was still legally married. Let's see if I put it in the right spot.
You have this cooker, so just put him on.
No. How dare you use a cooker? No.
Oh, that's when she said that the thing that she makes the best is rice. And I'm like, bragging about cooking rice good is just saying that you could boil water.
Donkey and stuff.
Donkey, not donkey.
Thing, maybe here.
Okay, I think she's separated. I say I'm separated. We're separated.
Yeah. Okay.
Signing divorce papers doesn't make my marriage any more over than it already is. I'm emotionally and mentally divorced.
But that's not on paper.
Never see a future of you two back together.
with being with Sinjin.
They made it look like she was unsure of that answer. Okay, now I can close this out. Chris says the guy she went on a date with had too much sense for her. Yeah. And he asked the right questions. I'm just waiting for this to load so we can get into somebody's tweet. I did not look on Twitter to see what was popping. So this is a live look of the first time seeing what people are saying about 90 Day The Single Life, but I think it might be a combination of both shows. I don't know if episode 2 has come out yet, because like I said, I watched this on Discovery Plus, and on Discovery Plus only the first episode has loaded, so I'll have to see. Sorry, my computer's a little bit slow. The hashtag didn't even automatically pop up, so I don't think a lot of people are tweeting about The Single Life. We'll see. I put in 90 Day Fiance The Single Life. Okay, so there's two hashtags. There's 90 Day Fiance The Single Life and 90 Day The Single Life. We will look at the first one, which is 90 Day Fiance The Single Life. CKeg1 says, how did Colty go from looking like a computer nerd to a Renaissance fair refuge on LSD? Jean-Luc Picard, which, by the way, if you're not following Jean-Luc Picard, follow them. They are hilarious. They tweet about, I know they tweeted about regular 90 Day Happily Ever After, and 90 Day Single Life. I have not seen them tweet about 90 Day UK yet, so I don't know if they're watching it, but their Twitter account is funny as hell. So follow them. They're funny. They say, TLC, there's nothing remotely entertaining about this whack job. Please stop giving her TV time. Mark Smith says, Natalie is the most childish 37-year-old I've ever seen. She giggles like an overexcited teenager. Kate Hoffman says, can we please get John on A Single Life? 90 Day Gold. I agree. I would like to see John going on dates. I can see John going on dates. Yes. Where is that? Where is that? Get John on 90 Day Single Life. I want to see him go on dates. Then he'll be out his brother's hair. 99-cent Memory says, I'm so desperate for a child. I came to this date half naked. Natalie. Indima. No, let me go back and like these. I'm reading these comments, and you know what? I'll have to do it after the stream because my computer's too slow. But I'll go back and like all these comments, and I'll retweet them anyways. Okay, so Indima says, I had to do a double take. What the heck, computer? Why are you doing this to me? It just reloaded. Y'all saw that. It just literally reloaded, and I didn't even do anything. And that was a cool tweet. It had a doll's face or something. All right, so if Katharine Hepburn was raised by wolves, says, time to watch Caesar get scammed again. Katie says, Natalie is like 40 going on 12. She's such a prude. It's ridiculous. She won't even kiss the guy she's dating. Pathetic. The way Debbie excessively I think the thing that's annoying is not that she didn't kiss him, it's that she kept on flirting with him like she wanted to kiss him. And I think that's annoying. If you don't kiss on first dates, don't flirt and don't give mixed signals. I hate that. And I'm sure if a guy is dating you, that would not be nice to him. Like, that's not helpful to him to know what the hell it is that you want. I think that she plays too much. That's what it is. She plays too much. Okay. Sherry Ye O Yako says, the way Debbie excessively talks about sex makes me vomit in my mouth a little bit every time. Also, why are we seeing this kissing morning scene? My eyes, cut. White Diamond says, stop throwing drinks on the man and just walk. Wait, I don't think that must be from episode 2. I didn't see anyone get a drink thrown on them. So that's telling us on episode 2, somebody's going to get a drink thrown on them. I got to find episode 2. Because why? And also Discovery, why? If I have Discovery Plus, I should get the episodes before they're on television. That doesn't make sense. We also don't get Pillow Talk. So why do we have Discovery Plus? We're paying for Discovery Plus and we don't get Pillow Talk on it. It's on regular television. I'm just saying. All right, so I'm reading that tweet anyways. White Diamond said, stop throwing drinks on the man and just walk away from the multiple wife shenanigans. Go back to America. No one's putting a gun to your head. Yeah, so they put the wrong hashtag. I think they're talking about Kimberly on 90 Day Happily Ever After. I think they're talking about Kimberly, but they put the wrong hashtag. I feel like Natalie would thrive as one of Elon Musk's baby mamas. Yeah, he's another one. Like every time Nick Cannon has a baby, it makes the news, but Elon Musk has the same amount of children and it doesn't make the news. I think they should equally be shamed for their dirty dickness. White Diamond says, stop throwing stuff. You're not a kid. You're 51. Kid. Yeah, White Diamonds, why are you putting the wrong hashtag? Yeah, that's regular 90 Day Fiance. Okay, I don't get why at Savage Colt J is such a douchebag to his mom, Debbie. Like, she's pouring her feelings out and crying to you, but all you can do is mock her. Like, what? Why? You are awful. Does anyone else agree? Well, I think he has that reaction because it's giving me that Debbie does this all the time. If you have a parent, and I've seen this with some friends' parents, they have parents that will use guilt as an emotional manipulation. So when your mom is crying for the 350th time, you're not going to have the same reaction. I think we got that when Colt said guilt trip, guilt trip, guilt trip. I think that he has experienced Debbie doing this so much in his life that he doesn't even feel anything anymore when she breaks down in tears because it's a manipulation. Tony Man says, did you manage to see my tweet? No, not yet. It's not. I think, did you send it to me on my other account? On the Horror Freak one? Because it didn't pop up on the Fashion Freak TV page. So you might have posted to my other Twitter account, and that's probably why it's not coming under this one. Okay, the tweets are not so great on this one. Tania gives me the ick. She makes up her own reality and then tries to convince others it's real. And the blatant lie, she is who she wanted to, and the blatant lie, she is who wanted the divorce. Oh. Amber says, all right, Debbie, happy to see her finally have someone. Colt needs to appreciate her more. You never know when you lose your mom. It hurts like hell. That's not the right 90 Day either. Like, I'm getting all these tweets that are not talking about the right section of 90 Day that we're talking about. Amanda Marshall says, OMG, I am so loving the new Debbie. I think she might get lucky. All right. Now I see what time it is. So I wish I could find that tweet. Oh, know what? Let me put photos. There was a tweet I was about to read and it had a picture of a doll and I wanted to read it and then my computer reloaded and I lost the picture. Let's see if it comes back up. What's that one? You cannot convince me that Colt is showering on a daily basis. That's what Jean-Luc Picard says. This was Tania partying in Aruba. Where the hell does Tania get the money to float for months at a time all over the world like this? What does she do for a living? Well, now she does TLC for a living. Caesar gave Maria $40,000 USD working at a nail salon. She's a millionaire in her country, and he's still seeking Ukrainian women. They don't worry about looks, just money, dude. Wake up. Wow. Lolo says, I'm going straight to hell for this, but Debbie has so many dead cats on that shelf that it's bowing. Yeah, it is. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention that her husband's ashes are on the same shelf with those cats' ashes on this shelf right here. Her husband's ashes are back here, and these are the cat's ashes. Interesting stuff. TV, food, and books. Somewhere Larissa is watching this cackling. I don't like Colt's beard, but it's not for me to like. It's for his wife to like. Jean-Luc Picard says, imagine this sliding into your DMs. The cat is beautiful, though. And it's nice when people take care of cats. It shows that they have a good heart. So Jean-Luc Picard says, this is the reason I didn't want Debbie back on my screen. Now we got to see this dirty hobo during their segments. And 90 Day Fiance, etc. says, these two weirdos, TLC found them under a rock, and now they're trying to live a normal life in front of the TV cameras, but they don't know how. And it says, when you borrowed your mom's favorite sweater without asking, and now she's pissed. The nerve of these two age shaming Debbie sitting there looking like before and after. Wow. I admit, I have not seen Pillow Talk, so I don't know what was said, but if they age shamed her, that's not cool. We're all going to get older. TLC, how much longer are you going to run this commercial? I can't believe she's taken a turn for the worse. I watched these on Discovery Plus, so I don't see the TLC commercials, so I don't know what that's referring to. Her service start at $500. Caesar is riding a bike while these women he's paying in Ukraine are driving BMWs. Lord, hashtag TLC, I'm not doing this with him this season. So $500 translated into Ukrainian. I'm not sure how to pronounce the currency. Hryvnia is $18,000, $18,316. This guy is way too good for Natalie. Literally the second date, and she's catching an attitude. Because he won't commit. He's not too good because he was trying to climb into bed with her after one date. So he's skeevy too. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm just here for TV time and some cat. Exactly. That's what he's here for. Michael can. Oh, this is from the other show, but I'm gonna read it anyways. Jay Brooklyn says Michael can take his Instagram when Angela takes her social medias down. Yeah, sure. That's what her daughter said to her. I will be talking about that at 4:00, by the way. I'm going to get out of here and then open another stream. And we're going to talk about 90 Day Happily Ever After and that hypocrisy of Angela being mad about Michael's Instagram. Meanwhile, she TikTok dancing with this other dude. Like, that's not right. Where's the post with the doll face? Who wants to bet I could convince Caesar to send me money? Just call me Svetlana. Or Svetlana. That would be so mean. Don't do that. That's mean. Who said that? Aquarius Soul Rock said that. Tara G says, there it is. And there it is. Natalie can't hide the crazy for long. Just going to wait for the meltdowns now. Anyone know how many times she's called herself beautiful in this episode? Yeah, it's like that. She feels like that's all she needs to be is just be beautiful, but not have any personality, not have any conversational skills. She doesn't really talk about anything other than how beautiful she is and if a man will worship her and when she has a baby. Like, that's it. It says, TLC, you play too much. WTF, you have turned our sacred show into a circus. Shame on all your houses. Are they on Pillow Talk now? I gotta find Pillow Talk. Why is Pillow Talk not on Discovery Plus? That is so irritating. You pay for a service and you don't even get what you're supposed to get out of it. Says, shout out to Tanya's date's resilience not to stare. As much as they put them tetas in the camera, like she wants us to stare at them. That's about Big Ed. Scrolling past that, I don't know where that post is with the doll. Now I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna put it on my Instagram. There it is. Finally, it was Indy Ma said I had to do a double take. Thought Walmart was selling 90 Day Single Life costumes. I shouldn't laugh at that, but it does remind you of Natalie. I'm sorry. That is funny. Shout out to Indima for making us laugh today because that is freaking hilarious. Oh gosh, that is funny. Tony says, I did it on What Did I Just Watch? Okay. Oh, no, I could just go to your account to show it. Okay. Chris says, cult equals submit with an overinflated ego. Yes. Yeah, and Submit's mother's another one that does that. I'm going to kill myself. I'm crying. I'm going to do all these hysterical theatrics. And the difference between Submit and Colt is that Colt is now over it. He doesn't fall for that anymore. Submit is still very much affected by his mother's tantrums. He still believes her every time she throws a tantrum. Whereas Colt is like, this is just another one of your tantrums. I'm not falling for it. Tony says, I dated a girl who had her cat ashes in a cookie pan. I opened it and got cat ashes all over my freak. Why would you open it? Oh, because you thought it was a cookie. You thought it was cookies in there. Duh. That is wild. Let me see if I can find your tweet, Tony Man, because I think your Twitter handle is the same. Okay, this computer's acting super duper slow again. There it is. No, your last tweet was from September 11th. Unless they're putting them out of order. Let me see. Yeah. I'm seeing where you retweeted. I'm not seeing it on your Twitter timeline on your page. I'll show you the last tweet that's up here. Is this one when you were talking about Pat. You said a secret behind the scenes of Pat getting ready for her Greece holiday. And you put the lady from The Shining from room 237. And then this retweet from September 4th. So I don't see that post. I hope I'm not good. I think her boobs are obscured in that picture. I hope they are. I hope I don't get clocked for that. But let me get ready to get out of here because it's already 3:11 and I have to get ready for the next stream, which is going to be 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After. Earlier today, I already did 90 Day Fiance UK. So if you missed that, you can go back and check it out. It should be there for you to watch on a replay. Give me about a day or two and I will have the timestamps put into the shows. So if you're interested in a particular couple, you'll be able to see the particular couple. This is I got to share the screen again. Also, I remind you, I'm going to be on Hood Podcast. In our new episode, we'll go live at 9 p.m. On Hood Podcast, we talk about news of the strange, and we also review TV shows like House of the Dragon, Rings of Boredom, and She-Hulk. Yeah, this is what the thumbnail looks like for the live stream that I'm going to be doing at 4 p.m. today, and it's for 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After. And as you can see, the store clerk is asking, why are they in here wasting my time? Which is how I felt too. Okay, with that, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you all for coming through. And even the people who have not commented, I recognize that you're at work and you probably won't have time to comment, but I appreciate you listening. So when you get a chance, please give this video a thumbs up for the algorithm. I really appreciate that. And with that, I'm going to get out of here and I will be back, like I said, at 4 o'clock and we will talk about 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After. All right, take care.